class of 70 is an exclusive fraternity. Except for one honorary member a while back, no new members have been added for more than 50 years. Back in the mid-1960s, we became members of our class, either by being selected for entry into Canadian military colleges, on trajectory to graduate in 1970, or for a few wise ones, by delaying our earlier anticipated graduation to join the rest of us in 1970. But do you know the details of our membership? Meetups between classmates often deal with questions such as, how many of us are in our class? How many of us graduated? Or more specific queries such as, who else was in Mech Eng with me? Or which of my classmates live nearby me now? For years, several of our classmates worked hard to gather and share information and checked with each other and with the motherships, the RMC Club and the colleges, in an attempt to create a comprehensive listing of our classmates and details about them. Those lists have now been compiled into a single spreadsheet, which I'm happy to report is reconciled and confirms that the list we have of our class of 70 classmates is now complete. But the list reveals much more than just names, so much more that it's fun to wander around the spreadsheet to answer those class demographic questions that so often come to mind. My intention here is to introduce you to the list. Here's a teaser. It's available to you online, and to show you how it works and what you can do with it. I'm not going to present the information itself that's in the spreadsheet, though some of that will be apparent as I go through and give a couple of demonstrations. Rather, I hope that you will be intrigued by what's possible and you will search to answer yourselves and simply have fun looking around. The RMC class list is online and with the required link available for public view. That link is now included in the footer of the class emails that are regularly sent out, alongside the links to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our photo album, to the compendium of our fallen, and to our Arbor Report discussion forum. Before I get into it, I want to start with an assurance. Don't worry about breaking the class list or doing something wrong. I've set this up, I hope, so that nothing can go wrong. We'll see. The link will take you to a spreadsheet which you will note is read-only. That limits what you can do with it so you don't break it before others can use it. Furthermore, the public list is not the master list. There is a master list, and that list feeds data into this public list. And no, you can't get back to the master list via the public list. And so, as I repeat, nothing can go wrong. We'll see. I've opened up the public list in the same way that you'll see it on your displays. That said, I'm doing this on a Mac, and if you access the list on a PC or a phone or a tablet, it might look somewhat different, but the functionality should look the same. Before I look around, let's start with the raw list. When you click on the link, you'll be taken to this page, which I've called the dashboard. I will talk about the dashboard and its filter views shortly. You will see that there are two tabs on the bottom of the sheet: Dashboard and Class List. For now, in order to introduce you to the raw list, I'm simply going to click the Class List tab. This is the raw list, and its core is the sequential listing of college numbers available for and allocated to entrance to the military colleges. This is this leftmost column here. It's the reconciliation of these numbers to our classmates that assures us that the list is complete. The first CSC number allocated to the class of 1970 was to Hugh Lacombe, number 7844. That's because at the time Hugh was slated to graduate with a class of 69. More on Hugh and his team of early entrants below. The last class of 70 number, all the way down the list here, excuse me while I scroll, is number 8605, Jack Woida. The detailed demographic information that we have where available for each classmate is set out in the 12 other columns in the sheet. Looking across the top here. CSC number. The related info is shown for class of 70 members. If it's left blank, that's for members of other classes. The name, surname, aka, also known as, and initials. RIP, rest in peace, is a designation and or the year of death of those of us who sadly have passed on. RMC, CMR, or RRMC, you'll see ticks in some of these columns, designate the college of entry of each of the people. Studies. This is taken from our 1970 yearbook, and it also gives an indication of those of us who graduated. And finally, location and city. But all of that is just background because the magic appears via filter views. The spreadsheet is most useful and the fun begins when you use the filter views and insert views that are built into it. The drop-down menus of the filter views, viewed either via the filter view icon at the top right here, or via Data, Filter Views. When you click on that, it lists all the filter views that are available. This is them down here. By clicking either that drop-down list or choosing a view, you will be taken to that view. The underlying information is not changing. You're simply being shown a subset of it, and in some instances with a different sorting arrangement. To cancel the filter view, either choose another, or choose none, or click the X at the top right. All of this is made even easier with the use of the dashboard. Referring back to the two tabs at the bottom left of the sheet, if you click on the tab entitled Dashboard, you are taken back to where we started. The dashboard simply provides a more visual and sorted way of accessing the filter views that I mentioned earlier. To use the dashboard, simply hover over or click on the filter view you want to access and click the worksheet link that shows up. That will take you to the view you chose. To go to another view via the dashboard, once again click the Dashboard tab and go from there. Okay, let's go surfing. There are several groups of filters. Back to the dashboard link here. The full class lists include all of those who entered to graduate in 1970, 1965 year of entrance for the CMR guys, 1966 for the RMC and Royal Roads guys, plus those who entered to graduate in 1969, but decided they were better off to hang around to graduate with the rest of us in 1970. The full lists are simply different presentations of the same information. So here, for instance, is the raw list with no filters. Or here's the full list by CSC number, starting at the top with Hugh Lacombe and going through. Or full list sorted alphabetically by surname, starting with Dave Abercrombie. The subsets by college are obvious. Those are all the CMR entrants. The grads listing are taken from our 1970 yearbook. The subsets by college are also obvious. Here's all of the grads. Again, in alphabetical order by surname, or all of the grads, for instance, from RMC only. Courses of study are obvious. The listings by course are derived from the 1970 review book. Eng Phys, a small class. Location is the last known current location of living members of our class. All the Ontario guys. Under miscellaneous, the hangers-on to which I referred earlier are shown as early entrants. And the one list that will sadly grow over the years is the list of our fallen classmates found in the RIP filter view section. So now it's time to play. I'll look around and ask and answer some of my own questions so you get the idea. Question 1. Who are the members of our class of 1970 and how many are we? So let's go, say, for instance, to the full list sorted by surname. There it is. So yes, there are 428 people, starting from Dave Abercrombie all the way down to Derek Zakarchuk in our class. There's the count, bottom right, 428. How many of us graduated? We can do the same exercise. List all the grads. There's the count down the bottom right here, 179. Another question. How many entered Royal Roads Military College? There's the class list. Sort them all. $130. Couple more. Who lives out here in BC with me? There we are. Who've gone missing, as in we don't know where they are? There's an unknown listing here. We've lost track of all these guys. We are trying to keep the list current as people move and move on. If when you wander around you encounter any errors or omissions, please let me know and we'll update and correct the list as needed. Also, if you have any questions about demographic details that can't be answered by the list, but you think they should be or could be, let me know and we'll look into tweaking it if possible and if it's appropriate. Click on the link in the footer of the email, surf your way around the information that's available to you, and enjoy. Until next time.